Right, muckers. Now, ever since I've been doing this channel, I've always wanted to do a basic restoration. Something that we could all do without expensive equipment and outlay. Now, earlier this week, I was walking down the yard to go and move a piece of equipment when I literally stumbled over a piece of pipe. And as I put my foot to one side, I looked straight down and saw a pair of Stilsons. Now, Stilsons is a pipe wrench. For our American cousins, Stilsons was actually the original name, patented by its inventor, until that patent ran out. Now, I knew these Stilsons must have been laid there for over 30 years, and I'll explain how I knew that in the video. Anyway, I bent down to pick them up and thought, whoa, no, this is the perfect opportunity I've been waiting years for. So I took a step back, went and got my camera, and this is what happened next.
Right, well, these obviously haven't just been placed here. As you can see that they've been here a while. And I think I know where... There you go, look. It's not just been placed here for dramatic cinematic effect. A Land Rover used to stand here, one that you've seen on the channel before, and below the Land Rover, tucked away underneath it, was an old wooden box, and those Stilsons were in that box. And when we moved the Land Rover, we moved the box, and there was a couple of old spanners and stuff in there. That had obviously come out of the bottom, just fallen and rotted through the bottom. What about that? Now, the question is, not will it start, do you think we could free this back up again? Or is it too far gone? Let's have a look. Let's have a look. Alright, so, what have we got? As we said, this side seems okay. And the jaws don't seem too, not as if they're bent or anything. There's a little bend in the handle, which is often you'd get when you'd put a piece of pipe on to get a bit more leverage. However, this side, not quite so good. But if they've been sat there for over 30 years, I'm not that surprised. Right, well, I think what we're going to do first, just try and get rid of the majority of this, as much chunks of dirt and rust as we can, to see what we've actually got, to see if it's worth proceeding with. That's a lot better than I thought it would be. This stuff, this whole rust and soil. Now, I don't know about you, but I always think a lot of these restorations you see on TikTok and whatever with tools or, you know, weapons and stuff, they just look like they've been put in some kind of bath of rust accelerator for a week or so, and then they miraculously clean them up and nothing's pitted or anything like that.
Sometimes may be good, sometimes may be shit.
But this, as I said, you can see this is, you know, you can't do this sort of stuff in a special solution for a week. It takes 30 odd years of being sat in the ground.
That's right. It's the way she goes. Sometimes she goes, sometimes it doesn't. She didn't go. It's the way she goes.
Right, I'm just going to put some gloves on now. I want to try and get that turning so we can get that part threaded out and break it down in its individual components. So I can get that to turn a bit more each time. And you see there's a threaded part at the back here, and that goes in, there's a thread inside here, and then that moves that, you see.
Now, bit by bit, we're starting to get it to turn, and it locks up, so you just knock it again, which is freeing it because obviously stuff is jammed in there. So you turn it, and bits fall out, all the muck and the rust fall out. We get another turn, look, or a half a turn. We can do that again, and then there you go, another half.
Come on then, Plato, enlighten me.
Yeah, it's out. So you can see the thread in there, and obviously that works with that piece there. That's what adjusts them and opens and closes them. So like I said, just so we can see that it's not just been dipped in some rust acceleration solution for a week. That is the majority of the crud that we got out of that pair of Stilsons. But there you are, that's like 30 plus years of
shit everywhere
being sat there in the ground. Not sure yet what we're going to be able to do, if anything, with this spring. I mean, it still works, but you can see it's been corroded badly. Alright, I'll give that a few hours and then I'll flip it all over and give it a quick rub, and I'll keep doing that for the next, I don't know, 24 hours I suppose. Alright, so I took it out of the tray after soaking for like 24 hours. This is what we're left with. It's taken off a lot of the heavy scaling, but there's still a lot of the big thick rust on here. You see I'm starting to bring some of that up. Where has actually been taken that off. That's actually worked quite well. What's it like on this side? Well, we'll see. Let's give the die grinder a go. And it's got a little sort of plastic pad. It's not a hard thing, it's just like little plastic bits. But let's give that a go and see what that does. That took a lot of that off there. That's actually good. That's sort of sped things up a lot. But like I said, you can use all these ultrasonic baths. You can use, well, you know, grip blasting if you want to. But as I said, I just want to just carry on with tools that most of us should have available at home. There's all very well me going, oh, well, I'll just get the grip blaster out or the ultrasonic bath. But most of you may not have stuff like that. So with tools that you'd find in your average toolbox, let's continue. Alright, so utilising another piece of equipment that I suppose most of you that at least got a shed or a workshop would have is the bench grinder. And this one has got a wire wheel on one end, grinder on the other. Alright, so we've gotten to this stage using things like the bench grinder and you know, some various solvents and degreasers and whatever, but we've still got this adjuster nut to do. But I want to show you now some other ways using like wire brushes on drills and stuff. Again, just stuff that people have got, everyday stuff in the shed or the garage, that you don't need all this specialist equipment. You know, this is the reality. This is stuff that anyone can really do. You know, it doesn't have to be some sort of, you know, piece of equipment that costs tens of thousands of pounds, and you don't need equipment to restore it that costs thousands of pounds. This is just simple basic stuff that you can all do.
Shake hands with danger.
Okay, so now let's do the adjusting nut.
So, here they are. This is the end finished result. We've got that bit we did last, obviously. There's the jaws themselves here. They've all turned out quite nice. So, what do we do with these? Well, like I said, this is the whole thing that this isn't one of those restoration shows where, as I said, they've been put in some solvent and some vinegar for a week and they clean up like new and they give it a nice coat of paint. You look at the condition of these. Now, as you know, one side was all right, really, the other side had laid in the ground, was really badly oxidized and is pitted and stuff like that. And to be honest, I don't want to lose that. I could grind it out. I could, dab bits of weld in and grind them back and whatever. To what point? The nice thing is we know how bad these were. You've seen it. And you can't fake that. You can't fake 30-odd years worth of laying in the dirt, and just sort of slowly sinking. Like I said, I don't know how I've missed them over the years. I really don't. But that's the reality of it, look, as I said. And I quite like it. It's the story of these, isn't it? Look how that ring on there, look. That part that laid in there. Really bad. This side it wasn't in. Not so bad at all. That's not bad at all. But this side, look at that. That pitting and stuff. Look at all that. I like these. I like them for what they represent. As I said, it's this disposable society that we live in now. And we brought these back. They could be used, quite easily could be used again. Will I put them back to work? I don't think so. I think they'll be there should I need them. I've got others. But I'd like to have these maybe hung up on the wall or something, just to remind us that, as I said, that we can bring stuff back. It doesn't need to cost a fortune. And they can go on to serve, future generations as such if they wanted them. But I don't know. I think it's a reminder of the good days where you would look after stuff and not let it rot and fall through a toolbox and lay in the ground for over 30 years. So, will I put these back to use? Probably not. I've got other pairs. To me, the significance of these is that, it's a reminder for us and future generations that in this disposable, throwaway society that we have today, that, with a little care and attention, we can bring stuff back from the brink almost. We can have stuff that we can keep for future generations. And I know these old Stilsons, as I said, are pitted and worn and all that, but they'd still work. They'll still grip. But yeah, I think they've almost earned their place in our little Hall of Fame. So I'll mount these up in the workshop and just as a reminder that it's down to us to keep things going.
Wax on, wax off.
Now, muckers, here's a question for you. It's question time. Earlier in the week, when I put a post about these Stilsons on Facebook, a lot of you are saying, you could use this solution like Evaporust, or, you could do it in an electrolysis tank to help clean the rust off, or, you've got this special solution where you mix this, that, and the other, and whatever. Now, I'm all up for getting hold of an electrolysis tank and seeing if we can get the rust off with that. Or I'd like to see something like Evaporust, because everybody sings its praises. But then there's also, like I said, these little sonic baths that seem to vibrate with heat and whatever and get stuff off. Then you'll always get those that'll say, you want to use a mixture of like mongoose spaff and, a bucket full of your grand's old piss. You mix that together with a little bit of ATF, that'll strip it off. Or, Coke, could you get cover it in powder or something, do you? Or do you mean the actual, can of Coke. Awesome. But the point is that there's all these different methods. Now, I'm happy to do, as I said, the electrolysis. I'd like to see that. I would like to see the Evaporust. But what would you recommend? Put your answers in the old squit pit below in the comments section. And let me know what would be the method that you would like to try. Now, I can already hear some of you out there going, Mucker, You've already done it, mate. You've cleaned them. You can't clean them twice. And you'd be quite right. That would be unless you'd gone and kicked about where you found the first pair of 24-inch Stilsons and you found a pair of 18s.
Fucking embarrassing. Waste of our time.
Yeah, I know. But look, there we are. We've got the opportunity, so I reckon I can separate them into the 3 parts. I'm not going to brush them off or clean them. I'll just hit them with a hammer, get those jaws apart, get them into, as I said, so we've got the adjuster ring, the jaws and the handle, and then we can try the 3 different methods. So there you go. That's your chance now. In the comments section below, the old squid pit, put what type of method, be that some grandmother's concoction, maybe a, those sonic baths, or some other method that you know of. Put it in the old squid pit below in the comments section. Let me know, and I'll separate those bits that I found. It's not good, is it? Anyway, we're giving ourselves another opportunity to have a go, and in the next few weeks I'll get all the parts, the bath and the bits and bobs and evaporust and whatever else you come up with, and we'll give it a go. And while I'm waiting for those bits, I've got to pick up the bits for this so we can get the steering sorted. If we get the steering sorted, we can then give it a little tug around the yard and get that fired up. We can also carry on with the filming of me pulling the Great Wall pickup drive shaft out, getting the replacement bits and fitting that, and see if we can get it back to 4x4 as opposed to 4x3. Anyway, like I said, we've got bits to do for the dumper and the pickup, but please give the video a like because it does an enormous amount for the channel. It doesn't cost you a penny. Press all those buttons. And we've got to go and get an electrolysis bath. We've got to get some evaporust. Anyway, muckers, until the next one, do well.